about proposals, business plans, and formal business reports. So this is learning objective 3. Identify the components or the parts of typical business plans. And typical business plans, I'm sometimes thinking it's not all that typical because it kind of depends on the business, but there are some consistencies. And it gives the example of if you want to start your own business, you can count on the bank of mom and dad. Unless you can count, you need financial backing, such as a bank loan. A business plan is critical for securing financial support of any kind. Such a plan also ensures that you've done your homework, you know what you're doing in launching a business, and it provides you with a detailed roadmap to chart your course to success. Um, Estimates range from 160 to 640 hours of research and writing a startup plan. Consultants can probably do it in less time, but they may be a little pricey. They usually are. Entrepreneurs often prefer to save the cash and do it themselves. Classic software such as Business Plan Pro can help those who've done their research. You have your data and you just want formatting help. There's InLoop, which is a recent business plan app, makes it quick and easy to provide financial forecasts for bankers and investors. Be careful with some of these apps because uh, even though they're a template and what this calls a cookie cutter, it may leave out important sections that you will need to have to add in. So let's look at the components. Um, let's look at Chapman University student Michael Kane succeeded at turning his first prize business plan into Open Gym, a $1 million four-court basketball training center in Anaheim, California. He had dreamed about opening up the Open Gym concept. Writing down ideas and organized business plan helped him make the dream a reality. So let's look at this. A business plan may be defined as description of a proposed company that explains how it expects to achieve its marketing, financial, and operational goals. Letter of transmittal, same thing as before in the formal proposal. All the contacts, information for principals, explains your reason for writing it, where you're going to get your money at, do you think? The letter should include a summary of the market, a brief note about the competition, and an explanation of why your business plan is worthy of investment. So you've had to done some research. You've had to see what is your competitors out there. Market is who's going to participate, who your customers are, and why should they give you the money? Real short and sweet. Mission statement explains the purpose of your business and why it will succeed. What makes you different from everybody else? Potential investors will be looking for this mission statement. If you mess up the mission statement, you've thrown up the whole thing. That's just, if you're not clear on what your mission is with the business, they're more than likely not going to give you the money. Some consultants say that you need to write your mission statement in 8 or fewer words. Others think that 1 or 2 short paragraphs might be more realistic. I've always went with the 1 to 2 paragraphs. Many Fortune 500 companies have created mission statements that are both inspirational and concrete. Starbucks states its mission simply is, but graphically, to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. So if you can get it like this, hey, good job. Okay? You just have to be careful and run it by several people. So, definition, mission statement describes a reason an organization or program is going to exist. Goals should be easily understood, free of complex words, no buzzwords, concise, memorable. If they can't remember your mission statement, you may have a problem, and simple, unique in distinguishing a business or a program. So, some things to think about. What do we do? What image do we want? How and why do we serve our clients? Why are we doing this? And what is the broadest way to describe our work? So these are examples of nonprofits. Wounded Warrior Project is real simple to honor and empower wounded warriors. Humane Society celebrating animals, confronting cruelty. Make-A-Wish, we grant the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions to enrich the human experience with hope, strength, and joy. Nike, to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. Amazon, to be the best customer-centric company in the world, where people can find and discover anything they want to buy online. So there's an executive summary, which is written last. And the reason you write the executive summary is you're summarizing somewhat about what the report is, and you don't know necessarily what's in the report until you've written it. So it highlights the main points of your business plan. It should not exceed 2 pages. It should conclude by introducing the parts of the plan and asking for financial backing. Table of contents, your company description, proprietorship, partnership, corporation, whether it's merchandising, manufacturing, or service, your product or service description in jargon-free language. Remember the buzzwords and stuff that we went through to where things were made more simple. Market analysis, operations and management, like financial analysis, and any appendices, managers' resumes, promotional materials, product photos, something like that. There are all kinds of sample business plans on the web. So here's a couple of websites. Small Business Administration. These guys are worth their weight in gold. Okay. They have classes on how to do this. They have service. They even have money that they loan. They will look over your stuff. A lot of times there's retired businessmen that give assistance and counseling. So these guys are really cool, and you should always get in touch with your local small business administration. And then objective 4 is you're actually writing formal business reports. A formal report may be defined as a document in which the writer analyzes findings, draws conclusions, and makes recommendations. So, front matter components of a formal business report. And we talked about what is front matter. A number of front matter and back matter items lengthen formal reports but enhance their professional tone and serve their multiple audiences. In all my time in business, I've never heard of this word, of this term, and back matter items. I can kind of guess what it might be, but I've never heard of it. Formal reports may be read by many levels of managers and technical specialists and financial consultants. So here we go again. The introduction, body conclusions, and recommendations if it's requested. Formal, and when they say formal, like before, they mean formal. Here's your cover. Here's the title page. So cover means like a report cover, okay? Title page, the letter of transmittal, table of contents, the list of any figures that you have. You have to make sure all your figures that you've used, all the pictures you've used are listed in that list of figures. Executive summary, we told you that gets written last. The introduction, the body, the conclusions, recommendations if it's requested, an appendix and references. Traditional form reports usually enclosed in a vinyl or heavy paper binders. There's a title page, letter, generally written on organization stationery, and a letter or memorandum of transmittal introduces the formal report. Your table of contents, yes, it has to have the little dots, and yes, you have to have the tabs over for the little dots correctly. You may have first and second level headings. Again, you may need to get somebody's help to format it. Your list of illustrations for each figure or table include a title and a page number. Executive summary, look for strategic words and sentences. First, next, and finally are important words. Words that express causation, therefore, as a result. Signal essentials, basically central, leading, principal, major. Prepare an outline with headings. Fill in your outline. Some writers cut and paste, then they condense with editing. Begin with a purpose. Follow the report sequence. Make sure that what you said is going to be next is really next. Cannot proofread your final report yourself. Don't do that. All right. Because you've looked at it so much and you've went through it and read it so much, you'll miss it. So you have to get 1 to 2 people that haven't laid eyes on it, that they have the purpose, they know why it needs to be done, they know the purpose, they know what the people are looking for. Say, this is our plan, this is what we need to do. Read our report and see if we do it. They look for typos, they look at formatting errors, they look like you've missed sentences, you've missed out on words. Somebody, okay, that has not laid Okay, it just really is important. You may not want to, but it really is necessary. Control the length. An executive summary is no longer than 10% of the original document. A 100-page report might require a 10-page summary. Okay, and you can look at figure 13.5 on 481 to see an executive summary. There's the introduction. It has a background, problem or purpose, significance, why is it important, what are you going to do, what's the organization behind it, who's authorized. Literature review is research about the topic and like why is it important to do this, why is it important to do that. Sources and methods. Okay, how are you going to collect your primary data, how are you going to do your secondary data, what programs are you going to use, and definitions of key terms. And I was going to make this a whole next section, a whole separate video, but it's primarily graphics. And so I'm just going to keep on trucking. Body and back matter components. All right, so the body of a formal business report is the meat of the document. Okay, back matter is the report, and it's what I thought it was. Front is like the front part of it, body is the internal, and back is the last few pages. It's kind of what I was guessing. This is the most important part or substantial part. It is bulkier because it'll have your graphics, it'll have your information in it. Because formal business reports can be long and complex, they usually include more sections than routine informal business reports do. Documents that conform to such expectations are easier to read and deliver their message more effectively. And we'll look at figures 13.5, which is the formal analytical report studying the economic impact of an industrial park on Flagstaff, Arizona. So here's your body. It's the principal section, discusses, analyzes, interprets, and evaluates the research findings or the solution to the problem. This is where you show the evidence that justifies your conclusions. Okay? It needs to be divided into main categories following your original outline. So you have to make sure you connect all the dots. Conclusions. All right. It's just what it is. Recommendations. Recommendations require an appropriate introductory sentence, such as the findings and conclusions in this study support the following recommendations. Da 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 da. Appendices is supporting materials, and depending on what they are, Appendix A, Appendix B, works cited or references. And look, here is your old friend that I've been harping on you. This APA format. This is used mostly as opposed to MLA. Regardless of the documentation, you must include author, title, publication, date of publication, page number, and other significant data for everything quoted. Okay, if you would accidentally copy 4 words together, it'll blow it out. Okay. Final writing tips. They involve considerable effort. The 3 phases of writing, beginning with analysis and anticipation of the audience, chapter 4. Information from we talked about in chapter 5. Chapter 6, proofreading and evaluating. Give yourself sufficient time, collect all your data, work from a good outline. You may take a revision of that outline a few times. Create a proper writing environment. Use the features of your computer wisely so that you know everything it does. Write rapidly, revise later. So that's that free writing that a lot of you guys like to do. Save difficult sections until you've developed confidence. You kind of get a better feel for what you're going to write. Be consistent in your verb tense. Avoid I and we. Do not use personal pronouns. Never, 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 ever use personal pronouns in a report. Don't do it. Let me see how I can say that. Don't do it. Let the first draft sit. Put it down. Go away. Get your mind clear. Come back. And not for 5 minutes. I mean, like overnight or a day or so, if not longer. Revise for clarity, coherence, and conciseness. And this is what we've talked about too this quarter. Read a printed copy out loud. Do the sentences make sense? Do the ideas flow together naturally? Can wordiness and flabbiness be cut out? If you've noticed all the stuff that we've been kind of going over, it's right there. Okay. Proofread the final copy 3 times. And here's the procedure: first, and then read it for that, and then finally scan. Now you can put it all together. All right, so Martha Montoya, Senior Research Consultant with Sardonia Development Company, was asked to study the economic impact of a local industrial park on the city of Flagstaff. All right. So here's her cover page. Her title, prepared by the for Flagstaff City Council, prepared by her, and the date. And a lot of places actually measure and make sure everything's right. Yes, they do get that picky. Okay. So here's the letter. Announces report, identifies the authorization, gives them an overview, describes primary and secondary research, and offers to discuss the report, and thanks them for this opportunity. And Roman numerals. I haven't seen this on a letter, but some people do it. Here's the table of contents. Here's how you would list your figures, what the figure number is, the title, and the page number. Here's your executive summary, directly with major research findings, your data sources, and summaries. Condenses the recommendations. See, we still have the Roman numerals. Here's the introduction, where they're using a bulleted list for clarity and ease. We've been talking about that. The background, authorization, and background on the study. APA citation. Provide specifics for the data. Discussion, revenues, employment, and indirect benefits, because it's going to be 3 parts. There's a revenue and a figure. Employment. And we converted to regular numbering back on the introduction. I missed that, sorry. Employment, current employment, what they want to do. So here's a graph figure of survey of CIP employees, their wages. Here's your figure 3, gives them the source, okay? Projections, clarifies information, tells what it means in relation to original research questions. In other words, they're playing connect the dots. Conclusions and recommendations. So here's the introduction for that. 1, 2, 3, 4 recommendations. On the basis of these findings, we recommend that. Okay. And here's all the references. Okay. And it's APA format. And here you do the process and the components of it. And applying your skills at Raytheon if you wanted to look at that. Now here's the learning objectives. Objective 1, 2, 3, 4. Aren't you proud of me? I can count. 5 and 6. And then here's your chapter review. Remember, I told you in a video, I suggested rather, that you write down what pages objectives 1 and 2 are. That takes care of just 1. And what pages are objective 3 as part of getting ready for your final. And also note the critical thinking. Look up this question before the final. So if it asks you, you know where to go for it. Okay. All right. That does it for the chapter 13 video. Thank you for your time, and I'll talk at you later.